Kiss took it to the extreme.
I hope they keep going forever.
They're going to go down in the history books.
How could this be? I'm a Kiss.
I didn't know it was Kiss the first time I heard Kiss. I remember I was about 6 years old and I'd seen a picture of Kiss in a magazine and I thought, my God, they must be the most heavy, scary, heavy metal band in the world. And I asked a friend of mine, I said, did you see this band Kiss? You know, what do they sound like? You know, what's one of their songs? And he said, well, they've got this song called Beth. And I said, well, how does that go? And he goes like, Beth, I hear you calling. And I heard that and I went, no, that's not them. I ended up buying Kiss Alive, you know, the first one, Kiss Alive 1.
Yeah.
And I was kind of embarrassed because my mom worked near the record store and I had to ask her to buy it for me. So like, Mom, here's $5, you know, I made from mowing lawns. Can you pick this album up? You know, like, don't look at it, just bring it home, you know. And got it home, and that was the album, believe it or not, that taught me how to play drums. Because I could finally figure out, like, it was simple enough where I could get the
right,
you know, strutter and stuff. I could sort of visualize, you know. I took drum lessons and it didn't make any sense because it was all like Haskell hard rudiments. I used to come home every day, you know, in 7th grade and play drums along with Kiss Alive 1 because I had a little toy set, and that's what taught me to play drums. And I think Ace Frehley, you know, was a big part of teaching me vibrato and bending, because he always had the really cool, like, you know, real even vibrato. And the Shock Me solo, you know.
Yep.
You know, that was so cool. Yeah. My very first fast lick was probably that. It was also the Sweet Leaf, I think. And on Kiss Alive 1, he also had this contorted position where he was like over like this or something. I always like look in the mirror and try to figure out, you know, how's he playing with his guitar like this?
Oil embargo and disco music had come along and killed all the club bands, and I was in an 8-piece horn band, just killed us. So I went back to Montgomery. We were playing in a bowling alley lounge, and there was no dancing. It was just people came and listened, and we played a lot of acoustic Eagles stuff, Jackson Browne, that kind of stuff. And one day, a guy who was a fan came in and said, Kiss's opening act, their truck broke down or something. For some reason, they can't make it. You guys want to open for Kiss tonight? We were like, yeah. So we went over to Garrett Coliseum, and we were like in our little earth shoes and, you know, bell bottoms, and we go in there, and Kiss is doing a sound check, and Gene's, as I'm spitting at his guitar guy, you know. I'm thinking, this is, first of all, it's very, very cool. And so they finished their sound check, and Gene came out and talked to me, and was so nice to me. I just remember walking around Garrett Coliseum, and he had on the high shoes, so it was like
9 feet tall.
And so I was asking, you know, if we could get a sound check, which now I know, you know, opening acts, they never get a sound check. He gave us a sound check, and we got up, and the audience wasn't that excited about us. But there they were. It was like being out in front of that. And so that was the first time I was ever in front of a big audience on a stage like that, was on the KISS stage. And it really got me going. I was like, this is what I wanted to do.
And KISS really, they really defined each one's role. The Beatles were doing it without even thinking about it.
Right.
You know, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, they were all there, and they had such personalities of themselves. But then KISS took it to the next level. It's like, okay, we'll give them personalities and we'll exploit it.
Correct.
I mean, you know, in a brilliant marketing way.
In a good way.
And we all know that KISS were brilliant at that. But still, why we're here today is because they made some good songs too. Yeah, some of those. Yeah.
I just kind of kept the record on and just kept playing because I like to play. And I was actually amazed. I was thinking, God, you know, his lines were a lot more clever than he was given credit for.
And lyrical and melodic in its own way.
People never considered them musicians at all. And I mean, I know Ace is not Jimi Hendrix. You know, that wasn't that kind of thing. But Gene had a tasteful way of playing that was much cooler than I remembered it actually. There's bound to be a lot of changes. There's bound to be a lot of they've gone through every possible scenario, including losing members, replacing members, trying to they've had their ups, they've had their downs, and I think they've kind of done it all. And the fact is they have survived, and they have survived as an institution, they're going to go down in the history books.
They were young guys, all excited, having a great time, and just loved meeting everybody around them. Everybody was, you know, a star around them, and they just felt that it was great to mingle. And I think they believed they had something to offer too. That's why they were there.
Of course.
But they were just energetic.
You're playing with Journey.
Right.
And now you're opening for KISS.
Yeah, we're in Buffalo, New York or somewhere. It's freezing cold. I go in and I couldn't believe, you know, here we are. We're a pretty serious band, and everybody's got makeup on. And not just the band, I'm talking about the audience, and that's what sort of freaked me out. I'm looking at the audience and playing something which is basically way over their heads, and just looking at them, just waiting for KISS, you know, and we're going, okay. And so that's basically it. I saw the guys go on stage, and I thought, well, I don't know if I could ever do that. You needed somebody, well, I think it was almost like a replacement for Eric Singer, and they kept playing...
Eric Carr or Eric Singer? Was Eric Carr at that
I think
time?
it might have been Eric Carr, yeah. I'm not sure, because Eric Singer was a guy they were trying to get hold of, and he was working with somebody else.
Probably that's the case.
That was the case. So I came into town, set up my drums and played, and basically my style of playing is not KISS oriented. I mean, I'm not just a 2/4 sort of guy. And although I can do it, it's sort of...
Sure.
It's something I have to sort of stay solid on. So I just... You know, just played my thing, and Gene said, well, you know, thanks, but I don't think it fit the band. And I went, well, you know, I didn't think I would in the first place, actually, but thanks for inviting me out.
Huge KISS fan. I was always fascinated by their merchandising, just how they packaged everything. And I ended up buying all 4 solo records. Since they defaced for that period and then came back with the full makeup, it was just so great.
had been doing some recording with Michael James Jackson a couple of years before that. I hadn't seen Michael in a while, maybe a year or so, and he called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, I'm doing this Kiss record. How would you like to play on it?" And my first thought was, me? I mean, it's like just so not my style. That's all we need for you is just to play.
Yeah,
and he said, you can play, so you should
be able to play.
Do it.
Yeah.
I played on, I think I played on about 4 songs, but they wound up keeping my solos on "I Still Love You."
Right, which is a great one. Yeah.
And the other one was "Rock and Roll Hell." Get me out of this rock and roll hell.
What was the first time you heard of Kiss?
Back in the 70s, I guess, late 70s. We when I was with Hawkwind, we went up to mid 70s, I suppose. We went up to Detroit, and they had just done a show there the night before, an all-nighter, and there's all these kids still hanging around, all done up like Kiss, And I thought,
had you seen anything like that before?
Hello, this is odd. Well, we did shit like that in Hawkwind, makeup things.
Oh, that's true. That's
it was
true.
big in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Bowie and Mott the Hoople and bands that
well, not like a girl makeup. I mean, weird makeup. Like
weird makeup, like what I'm saying. Bowie
I used to
stuff.
go on stage with Alice Cooper eyes, all dripping down your face, and Dick Mick used to do half his face silver and half red.
Well, this is where Kiss got the idea from. I mean, they weren't.
Maybe, but I mean,
some of it.
They refined it, though. Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, I don't know if I could do that every night. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I got to put this shit on again. Imagine 5 days in a row.